knows your snow.
All right, and we're
rolling. Nice. That looked cool for sure.
Test. Yeah, it's perfect.
I thought it was gonna do like the little, like the lamp thing in Disney or Pixar or whatever.
We really do need an intro, though.
Did that come off of there?
Our mic. It didn't come off the mic.
That's your wedding ring.
How did that happen?
Where did that come from?
On my finger. That's hard to get off.
Are you sure you didn't put it on here?
I'm 100%. It was.
You didn't have it off right here?
No. Why would I take it off and put it on?
Why would it? Are you glad I went and looked?
Yeah. I didn't even notice.
Crazy.
What in the world? Welcome back to the GSM Garage.
Welcome back. This is the first time. Well, we technically did it once.
Welcome back to the first episode of the GSM Garage, where we accomplish two things of equal importance. We rate the garage we're in, and we answer students' questions about anything.
Yeah, basically, students reach out with questions occasionally, and I was like, dude, we really should evaluate some garages, and then probably answer those questions.
Probably.
So garage first, right?
Yeah, I mean.
Garage first?
Yep.
Well, welcome to the GSM Garage. Quite literally. So this is the Connex box. It's not actually a real garage. This is the Connex box behind Grace Church, where in the future we might actually store some GSM stuff here. We couldn't film in the closet. It was too small.
Coming soon.
We got the volleyball net in the back. Going to be dope. We're going to bust that out probably this week. That's new. That's new. If you're watching the podcast, you know all about it. But yeah, this is the GSM, potential GSM garage. It's the Grace Church garage.
Grace Church Garage.
It's the Grace Church Garage. It's Connex
So I think
box.
for rating, we just go simple out of 10.
Out of 10.
Based on a couple different variables that we come up on a whim.
It's a 5.
5 out of 10. I like that. It's long. It's a lot of space, but
it's
inconvenient. Inconvenient space
We got
because
these
it's long,
big things,
but not wide. You know,
big old chest full of nothing.
And the only car you could really potentially park in here if you needed to is like a Kia Soul or a Mini Cooper.
I think we could test that theory and get a bigger car in here.
Both, actually.
I think we could do a lot. I think we could put my minivan in here. But it gets the 5. The snow blowers, very versatile.
Functional.
You need these functional. There's some water toys. Christmas trees. We're always ready to celebrate Christmas.
You know, really church essentials, if you will.
Christmas trees and snow blowers. We're prepared for winter. It's the middle of summer. It's 85 degrees, and we're sitting in a Connex box. And that's convenient because we're talking about aliens.
That is convenient. And I was going to say the same thing. But
yeah.
So what was the question?
Okay, the question's really, there's probably a handful of questions within it. But the question was essentially, if aliens are real, is this an issue for the Bible? Would this challenge your Christian faith? Because, right now we don't know if there's aliens or not, but a lot of people talk about it. A lot of people have a session with it. There's videos out there, little pictures out there or something like that. And the question is just could there be aliens? And I think even one of those questions is, how come the Bible doesn't talk about anything else outside of, basically planet Earth? So...
Well, let's tackle this question systematically. Let's start with, are aliens real?
Yes.
You think so?
No.
I don't think so.
I don't think we're going to find any alien. Now, hang on. This is where, is just like a bacteria. If we find some bacteria on Mars and it functions and lives on its own, that's considered life. Do we consider any form of life not on this planet an alien, an extraterrestrial life form?
Well, I think it depends on how you scientifically define alien, and it depends on how you sci-fi define alien. If it's a science fiction, alien walks around, have a city, then, that's how I would define an alien.
Yeah. I think
something with the intelligence of a monkey or more.
I think a little bit more. It's got to be a little bit more. Well...
I saw this video of a dolphin. It was carrying its dead child through the water.
I saw that.
Really?
Yeah. For days.
That seems like a pretty intelligent thing to do.
That's intelligent. It's grieving. It's mourning. Yeah. But I would say, for the sake of our argument, I think we have to determine that these life forms could eventually communicate with us in some way, or else all the other questions are moot points.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Like,
so we have
even
to,
if it's like this super cool monkey that's flying these spaceships around, like we're gonna know like, well, this, all right, like
they have the same status as an animal.
Whatever.
basically.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah. So I personally am not convinced by the evidence that the government has tried to hide or has put out about aliens' existence. I'm not convinced.
Yeah.
They say the universe is really, really big, so
Which
it
it
has
is.
to be.
I think that's fair.
Yeah. So they're like, there has to be aliens because the
There's
universe is
gotta
really,
be,
really
yeah.
big. But that's just not convincing to me. Or finely tuned Earth to sustain life. All that being said, aliens definitely don't exist. But if they did, let's
I
answer
think
all
we
these
have
questions.
to move forward
Yeah.
as if aliens.
Yeah.
I'm in the same boat. Like it's kind of.
Yeah.
To me, it's kind of whatever. I mean, they might be out there. I don't think they are.
Yeah.
But that's where I think the fun comes in these questions. The questions is, let's say they are. Isaac's dead wrong because the universe is big, therefore.
Premise one, the universe is really, really big. Conclusion. Aliens exist.
There is a deeply
Premise two.
intelligent life form capable of creating very advanced structures or spaceships that can travel across the universe. They can communicate, and in time, maybe not immediately, but in time, we would be able to have a conversation with these aliens. We're going to assume for everything moving forward, that's what an alien is. That's what we're talking about. Question
Men
number
in Black
one.
esque.
If those things are real, if these kinds of aliens are out there, why doesn't the Bible talk about it? Because we're assuming they're real. We're just going to assume they are. We're going to find them in 5 years from now. And the first question everyone is going to ask is, why didn't the Bible say this was going to happen? Or why doesn't it mention that God was like, yeah, and God created the earth and blah, 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 blah. And also, he created some other stuff out there. It might show up one day.
Yeah, okay.
Why doesn't the Bible mention it at all?
One immediate thought is like, he mentions there's birds and fish and beasts of the land, but he doesn't mention anything like super specifically. Like he doesn't answer, like he doesn't mention that there are giraffes and elephants and stuff very specifically like that, or dinosaurs or
but they're
things
at least
on this
lumped
earth.
in with the animal, the creatures that walk the earth, the things that are above it, the things that are in the water.
And like the heavens above. So like can we just extend that of like, he mentioned there are animals, beasts of the earth. Can we apply that to aliens if they're not like given this same
That's fun, but
thing
I
as people?
I lean towards no. I don't think he created things in the creation story of Earth, and then they were like, "Peace out," and they got in their spaceships and left or something.
Oh
like,
no, that's not what I'm saying.
Oh, you're
I'm
just saying
he
just lumped
created
in.
them all at the same time, and then created humans and gave them this.
Yeah. Okay, that's an okay idea.
Like that's my first thought. Otherwise,
so I like the original direction you were going. He doesn't mention certain specifics. And what I would say is what we have to consider as Christians is the point and purpose of the Bible. The recipe for Rice Krispie treats ain't in there. Trigonometry is not in there. The process of photosynthesis isn't in there. These are important things that we see all the time. Hey, why didn't God tell us about like radiation and like how it works? Or why didn't God tell us that, we could make...
It's not my high school physics
textbook. Why isn't that important stuff? Isn't that stuff pertaining to life? I think that's not the point and purpose of the scriptures. So I have 2 points on that. Number one, and here's actually the most important thing in my opinion. I think it would have been important to mention them had they been made in God's image.
That was kind of where I was going with that.
Humanity is the only thing. People, as far as Scripture is clear, were made in God's image, which I think is more than a physical implication, right? If you read that, we're made in God's image, right? I think there's a little bit more in there, but suffice to say, that's also kind of the point and purpose of the book. We don't even know a lot of things about angels and demons. I mean, those are characters in the book that we're aware about, but we don't really know their functions.
Yeah, it's not super specific on all that stuff. Yeah.
But I think the reason it isn't is because we kind of don't need that. It's not for us.
Right.
The Bible
the angels have their own book for how
maybe they do. But we have this book not just for how we're supposed to operate or something, but it is a whole story. I mean, it is a recollection. It is a historical thing from the start of time, and we even have a glimpse into the end of time, where throughout this story, it's all about God's interaction interaction with his people, his creation, specifically the one made in his image. And the reason it's a big deal, and we even have the story, is because it was corrupted through sin, and God wants to redeem this whole thing. So the whole book is about his character, who we used to be, who we should be, and how that whole redemption arc works. God's plan and story for salvation, all the way through the people of Israel,
humanity,
through to Jesus. Yes, so it is specifically kind of for us. So first of all, the point I want to make is that's why it's not in there.
Right. That's
it
why
just
it's not
wouldn't
in
matter. That's why we don't put
our
calculus
Bible.
in there. Yeah,
Right.
that's why we don't put the Rice Krispie treats recipe in there. Like, it's a good thing.
Because it has what we need to know. Yeah, it has the information
what we need to know to know this story.
and what we need. But if the angels have their own book, like I just said,
there's an alien book.
there's an alien Bible.
There's an alien. See, okay, that would be an issue.
So we are already going with premises that
yeah,
aren't
we're already
even
going
true.
premises that don't work.
So is it just a possibility that like humanity is the image bearer of Christ? We have God's image. We're made in His image, and then so are aliens, and they're given their own book and their own system of how it works. Same God working. Like,
well, no. What I would say there is now we have an issue.
What's the issue?
I would say now we have an issue. I would say that would challenge the Christian's faith. If aliens were to show up with this book that's like, no, we're made in God's image, they articulate the same way as us, they communicate this like gospel message or something
Earth is
like
just
that.
their one stop on their mission to go around the neighborhood of galaxies or whatever.
I mean, I guess that would be quite unique.
They're just two aliens that just graduated high school.
Hey, we have to be careful with
we have
to be careful with this, but like what's a place we like kind of don't want to bring the gospel, because we're just kind of like maybe we don't answer that, because here's my deal. If that's true and we've seen the UFOs go by, that means they're going to other planets witnessing, and they're like, dude, we just can't handle Earth right now. Like, I don't know if that's like maybe a neighborhood. It's like that guy in school where you're like, I know I need to share the gospel with this guy, but he smells like a burnt grilled cheese sandwich with onions and chives. And you're like, that almost sounds good, but it's actually not.
Like, you're making your rounds, and you're just like, I'll just write in my report that they said no.
Are aliens currently dealing with convictions from the Holy Spirit because they've neglected to share the gospel message of Jesus with Earth?
The same way we feel.
Yeah. Would we need to share? Okay,
areas.
Actually, that is totally off topic. Forget everything you just heard. If these aliens are real, do we need to share the gospel with the aliens?
Well, I think
they're intelligent. We can communicate. I'm saying we
so
go
is
above
AI.
dolphins.
So that's.
No, but AI is man-made, and AI isn't really what we say it is. Sorry to break your heart, but it's not true artificial intelligence. It's just a language.
Maybe that's a topic for another time.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not creating anything new particularly.
But you can talk to it and have a back and forth.
You can talk back and forth.
But I think you run into the same problem with what I said earlier, is like, if they are intelligent, what does it mean to be intelligent, and it is having intelligence an aspect of being an image bearer.
So let's go beyond intelligence, because we're not making it broad. Even the dolphin, we're talking about it being intelligent, but I would say it carrying its young around is a very emotional thing.
Right.
Though. You have a conscience, intelligent, emotional, mental health. Like, we could cause distress to these aliens. We could make them feel bad. We could be manipulative toward, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
so they're
same
conscious,
emotions.
they're intelligent, and they have.
I think for the same
what we would say
is
a soul.
See, that's where I would say things are different. I think a
soul.
soul.
You separate consciousness and a soul.
Yeah. Okay. I would separate those things in the because I'm
what
trying
is
to
consciousness then?
I don't know.
What's a soul then?
They're awake.
What's a soul?
I think a soul is a very specific thing that mankind has. I don't think animals have souls. We don't find any evidence in that for scripture.
But they have consciousness.
And but animals are aware, right? They still have these aspects of what science would even look at and be like, hey, that's like an aspect of humanity. They care for their young, they grieve, they cry, they work together.
Are they just like operating off instinct though?
No, see, I think that's fair. I don't think there's a dolphin that's like, I think, therefore I am.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Because I know I exist. That's how I know I exist.
They just exist.
But let's say there's that's the whole point of aliens, right? They have language, they're more intelligent, they are aware they exist.
Right. So
they have these great structures.
Are they any different in kind to just a really smart dolphin?
See, that's the case that I would make. I would say no.
Right.
I think that is something that could maybe mess with the Christian faith, is if these things were like, no, I'm in need of salvation. It would be like, okay, that's interesting. Because my suspicion would just be more like, yeah, they're creatures. They're things that are out there.
Yeah, they're just operating off impulse.
The case we're making, they're smart.
Yeah, their impulse just happens to be building insane technology
and touching people's booties.
But they're just
based off the movies. Based off the movies.
If we're talking about Men in Black, which we already just established is the made-up premise, they are. But like for animals, you always have like there's an end to their instinct. They're operating off an instinct for
reproduce.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why they touch our booties. Slight editing may be needed.
That doesn't make any sense. Like nothing. Okay, so like
see,
you would say if dolphins were
then.
just more intelligent, but still of the same kind that they are, they would.
I think it could make a Christian struggle.
Yeah.
I need to share the gospel with this creature that can communicate with me, that experiences life the way I do.
Right. Well, they
teach
what I'm saying? Apes sign language, so apes can talk. I feel like that can.
Did we screw up by not sharing the gospel with Coco?
Exactly.
Yeah. No, salvation is not extended to animals. So that's kind of where I was trying to like go with.
Yeah, this. Yeah, and I think a Christian.
Even if aliens are this like wickedly intelligent thing that even have other traits that we don't see in the animal kingdom.
Yeah.
I don't think we should experience some kind of conviction like we got to get these guys to heaven. Because I think they're just. Did you get that?
Oh yeah,
close enough. Thanks.
Say it again.
I don't remember what I was saying.
We're not trying to get them to heaven.
We don't have to save aliens because they're animals, and that's okay. That's not a mean thing. It's not like a demeaning thing, right? Your dog's an animal, but you're nice to your dog. You feed it, you take care of it, you make sure you love the dog, you cuddle the dog, whatever.
Yeah. The dog loves you.
The dog loves you. Yeah.
Does it or
maybe dogs are aliens? Why are they always sniffing booties?
I've never seen an alien movie that's so obsessed with butts.
But that's like the thing.
One movie.
I don't know the movies. I just know. Why do we know that's a thing though? What do aliens do? What's the number one thing they do with humans?
Abduct you.
Probe them. Okay. After abducting
All right. Yeah, but that's not a movie thing. That's just some freaky farmers on the 60s.
True. Why don't we see crop circles anymore?
Because the demons have moved on.
That's going to be the next point, by the way. Stay tuned.
Well, that's what...
It's because we got cameras, dog. They just... Elon Musk has his satellites or whatever.
There's that autistic farmer
kid,
and he just did his crop duster, and his dad was like, that must be an alien.
This is crazy. Crop dusting. You're back on the booty thing, dude. So... Is there anything in there?
There's fuel.
There's some fuel. Nice. I think we have to talk about this because it's important then. Where is the obsession from aliens coming from? Why are there, videos or crazes, or why do people even have all these questions? Like, why are we so obsessed with aliens? Not we, but other people.
That's a good question. I think it is just a curiosity of higher intelligence. I think you can say the same thing for those people who are really on an AI kick of like AI is intelligent and the AI is gonna become conscious and take over the world. I feel like it just comes from a similar vein of curiosity and like what would an intelligent life that's not human look like? I think it's kind of similar.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't know if I got anything. I don't know why people are obsessed with it. I don't know.
But I do think it's just angels and demons.
Yeah, I think we have to have some caution. So that is something like genuine answer is I think sometimes a lot of things we see or hear or like you get this footage and stuff. Sometimes it's right. Sometimes it's like this refraction of light or it's this or someone's like, my guy, that's like one of those, remember those hot air balloons from China that were going around? Yeah. Like, this is China spying on us. I don't know. But I think a lot of it is actually rooted in something demonic. Now, I'm not going to go overly crazy into the spiritual, but something I have noticed. So I actually had a guy at a former job I worked at. He literally told me one of the reasons he wouldn't believe is because of the possibility of aliens. And it's like, how crazy is that? Is that even the idea of something that we have essentially no evidence of, the idea of it was a good enough excuse for him to be like, I don't even want to listen to what you have to say.
Right.
Because there's so much more out there. And it's like, well, there's kind of not like we looked. But let's even say if we were, what's funny to me is we actually kind of talked about this in the beginning. it still doesn't change anything. It still doesn't change like how salvation would work or humanity or being made in God's image. It's like, okay, cool. So there's, whether it's a microbe on Mars or it's a full-on like walking, talking, you know, incredibly intelligent thing, like what does that change about the world is broken in need of salvation? Like I would say nothing.
Right.
But what I think is so evil about it is there's so many people that will spend their lives investigating it that they'll put truth to this side, like what is in front of them to this side.
Right.
And that's where it's like, there's something wrong with that. Like there's something in there.
And another thing is like people ignore the spiritual, especially in the 21st century. They're so materialistic, where it's like they'll see something that doesn't make sense, and maybe they are just hallucinating or something, or they're just explaining a spiritual
There's someone
thing
driving through
in a materialistic way that's just
lady.
super easy to say is spiritual, is aliens and not something spiritual.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's
It's
true
like a
of like,
distraction almost.
this is only going to spark more questions, but like even like the ghost stuff where people are like, oh, this house is haunted and I saw this ghost or that, and it's like, I mean, maybe there's some other kind of like spiritual characters out there that we're kind of not aware of, like maybe a ghost, but it's like, well, it's just a demon, dude, and your obsession is so crazy.
Hashtag Samuel.
I don't know what that means. Oh yeah, Old Testament.
We don't
Samuel.
need to get into that.
Don't get
Nah,
it. Go read that though.
Yeah, ask another question for a different episode.
Yeah, the Saul, the king, Old Testament, goes and seeks out a medium, a witchcraft
I said
person.
we weren't going to talk about it.
We're not going to talk about it. I'm just letting people know it exists.
Yeah,
They
and
might
then
not have caught
the
on to
ghost of
that.
Samuel comes up.
The ghost of
in it,
Samuel,
yeah.
because go
But
read
we're
it.
not
It's in the
talking
Bible.
about
Google it. Don't AI it. Google it.
But we're not
Find it.
talking
Read the
about
passage.
it.
We're not going to talk about it.
But the medium
So his
is like
his ghost. That was an alien. Why am I here? Let me touch your booty. I'm sorry. Did Saul get probed by Samuel? You're gonna have to edit that out.
it makes my life so much more difficult.
I think that we ignore the spiritual. We don't want to talk about it because it seems weird and uncomfortable. And again, the Bible doesn't give a ton of instructions on it, but it gives us enough to know that there's a lot of evil forces, I think, that want to take our attention away from godly things, holy things, from truth. And I think that's exactly what happens in this case. People get so obsessed, right? They're like, I saw this thing in the sky one day and I've been looking ever since. And it's like, oh my goodness, you are missing the obvious right in front of you. I think it's fair.
I was probed by an alien. I just noticed.
Man, mine was much worse. See, every time we're going to have to do some editing, dude.
It doesn't need to be edited.
At least we haven't
mocked.
mocked.
Just move on.
Okay.
What's the next question about it?
Dude,
Is that it?
I don't know if there's anything else to talk about. So here's the thing.
Yeah.
Understand, if you got this far, if you actually
Cliff notes.
listened to the GSM Garage, which is ridiculous of you to get this
Insane.
far. Remember that everything we're talking about works on this whole premise that any of this stuff is even out there. And also recognizing that it's really easy to make the case that even if all this stuff is, it really doesn't change anything, right? It's the same as when people discovered, remember when like it was brand new that those giant squids were under the water and they were like these really huge, like it was really cool. It was a crazy discovery. We never knew they were down there, but it was like, all right, write
they're
that
down
in the
there.
book.
Yeah.
There's a new thing.
Yeah.
Like, cool. Let's see if we can find one and study it or something. Like, I don't know. I feel like aliens belong in that same category.
Yeah, how do we end it?
How do we close this out? I'm sorry, this was pretty disappointing. Both the garage evaluation, both the conversation. No, I don't think it's totally worthless. I think people have questions, and we're giving some answers.
Yeah, write in the comments.
Yeah,
Spotify
yeah.
comments and YouTube comments.
Yeah, this is gonna go big.
We're gonna watch. We're gonna look at both of those. Send in your questions.
Send in your questions.
We're gonna have to determine if you're a student because that's our whole premise. But
yeah, this is designed for students. If you're some rando,
then you gotta make it look like you're a student.
Yeah.
If you're gonna ask questions that we're gonna answer. Otherwise,
that's it. This is the GSM Garage. This is just it's laid back. We're in a garage. How much more laid back does it get? We hang out. And this is actually kind of scary. I don't like this. Don't shut those. I'm about to find out if aliens are real or not. Yep. Okay. Anyway, hey, we were talking about aliens.